Good afternoon. My name is Kiri McCoy, and today I will be going over Phase 2 under the TQA Training Quality Assurance for Colt Starting 2022. TQA is a nonprofit organization with the goal of attaining the training trifecta, which is temperament, task completion, and foundation, and learning how to eliminate resistance while doing a job. Millie is a 7-year-old sorrel mare quarter horse, and I will be using her today to show Phase 2 of the TQA program. Phase 2 can be separated into two categories, task completion and foundation, and the other side being temperament. And this is what we will be going over today in this video. We use these score sheets to keep a tally of how our horses are doing. We score using a number system between -3 and +3. -3 meaning they need a lot of work, and +3 they have completed the task and they understand the job. Before we begin today's video, I would like to say we will be assuming today that you have already worked them on the ground with a halter before working on what we are showing today. This is always important while working a colt. Now let us begin the video. An important term that we use a lot is willing submission, which can be defined as after initial cue, the horse performs the task on a loose rein with no leg pressure. For stand to saddle, I gave her a +3 because she very willingly just stands there. We also do not tie a colt because we want to make sure that if they do panic, they are able to move away. For standing to be bridled, I gave her a +2. And here the mistake I made was not making the bridle extra long and then tightening it after I put it in her mouth. She is an actual pretty finished horse and is pretty willing to put the bridle in her mouth. She's sometimes just lazy and won't open her mouth, but she has been trained not to bob her head when I do that. Do not do that with a colt their first time because it will probably make their head bop up. An important thing to always remember too is that everything we do in the halter on the ground, we also do in the bridle before getting on. This is just to double check that everything is okay and they're comfortable with the bridle in their mouth. So for horizontal direction in the bridle, I gave her a +2, and then for stage 1 in both directions, I gave her a +2 as well. And stage 1 can be defined as the front inside leg stopping and the other legs moving forward around it. And horizontal direction can be defined as when sack is taken out of the reins, the horse puts sack back into the reins with suppleness through the poll and loin. For stage 2, I gave her a +2, and stage 2 can be defined as the hindquarters pulling the horse in a reverse motion, aka a back. We also want to make sure that we work on horizontal direction away from us as well. This is to more prepare them for us being on their back, and I gave her a +1 in both directions. And here I'm just waiting, and then I kind of try to resituate myself a bit to help her out a little bit more, but I try not to pull on the reins. For stand to get on, I gave her a +3. She really does not move. I then adjust myself to comfortably be able to ask for horizontal direction on the side. So as you can see, I start flapping my leg back and forth on her hind, just asking really nicely for some horizontal direction in stage 1. And on this side, I gave her a +1. It's also really important to do this on both sides of your colt to make them comfortable for you getting on either side of them. So for this side as well, for stand to get on, I gave her a +3. As you can see, she really is perfectly calm and very willingly standing there for me. So I readjust myself, and I'd recommend not having your reins as long as I'm about to make them. I was just really trying to get her to move, and I thought maybe if there was less rein pressure on that side, she'd move her hind around. And right now I'm just like kicking, and she's just not responding, so I try to readjust again. I try to get more up on my saddle. And then I'm just like kicking away, and I'm just waiting for her patiently, trying to help her out a bit, like, hey, let's get moving a bit. And finally she starts to move, and she moves her hind around really, really nice. It gives me a lot of extra steps without me asking. For stage 1 standing, I gave her a +2 for both directions. As you can see, she really willingly moves that hind around. And this is to prepare for the doubling that we are going to do later on. For doubling at a walk, I gave her a +2. Doubling is an emergency stop for colts. When you want to double your horse, you pick up on the inside rein, and then you put your inside leg back, stopping the front feet and moving the other legs forward around it. We work on doubling because in a panic or when the horse is stressed, we want to be able to bring them back and double them at any given moment. For doubling at a trot, I gave her a +2. And right there, I really like to see that when I dropped my hand and started picking up, her feet already were stopping. So she's really starting to understand this drill. For doubling at a lope, I gave her a +1. I was only really able to do this once because she has an injured back hind, and we don't really have good footing right now to be able to work on this with her. To ask for stage 2 with a colt, we first ask for stage 1, and when we start to feel the hind going back, we then ask with both reins to pull the hindquarters back in reverse motion. I gave her a +2 for this. For stage 3, on the fence to the right, I gave her a +1 because as you can see at first she kind of counterbends, and then we kind of set her back up and she moves freely down the rail. And stage 3 can be defined as the front and back legs moving together laterally, so a side pass. And so we use the fence to kind of stop the horse from trying to move forward. Really helps colts. And then we also try to not get them completely straight because that's really difficult to learn at first, to learn how to side pass. And to the left, I gave her a +2 because we did not get the counterbend this way, which I really like to see. Now for loping in a straight line outside, I just completely failed at getting a video. I thought I had a video and realizing tonight that I do not, so I give myself a -3. But I still wanted to be able to show something because it is an important part of task completion with a colt. So moving on, horizontal direction, walking, I gave her a +2. For horizontal direction at a slow trot, I gave her a +2. She really collects up and keeps her head down, and she's a really nice mover. And that is it. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.